Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. And today we have the Princess and the Frog. It begins with the Princess and the Frog. This is a 2009 film. It's an hour and 42 minutes, and yeah, this is kind of a big departure. It's the first princess of color. Well, not necessarily count Jasmine, but black princess. So yeah, it's a kind of a bit of a big deal for the Disney animation. It took till 2009 to do that. Well, hey, what are you gonna do? In this case, this is of course it's full of magic. It's adventure, and first of all, she's not a princess. It's it's her becoming a princess is the whole point of the thing, even though she has no intention of being one. She is a girl who was grown up to work hard in New Orleans in the early 20th century, if not the turn of the century, when she was a little girl. We see her at the very beginning with her friend Charlotte. Her mom makes dresses for this little girl Charlotte, and for her very wealthy dad, played by John Goodman, by the way. And I think Eudora, her mom, is played by Oprah Winfrey. So that's kind of cool. But Tiana, who is our main character, is played by Anika Nani Rose. Nani? Anika Nani Rose. And of course, it's a musical, so there's lots of singing here and there throughout the film. We get one of the best villains we've pretty much gotten in a while. Well, you know what, we, Disney does all right on villains, but this guy is pretty much a creep who just does voodoo, and he's played by Keith David, who, when you hear his voice, and if you know who Keith David is, he is everywhere, just about everywhere. He's done just about every role. Look him up. He is kind of a big deal. Well, anyway, the point of the story is this is a girl who's worked hard her entire life. She has a mother and a father at the beginning of the film, and of course later on we see her when she's grown up. Father's dead. Ding, ding, ding. Dead parent. So mom's still around, but Tiana has no time for Prince. She has no time for relationships. She wants to make her father's and her dream come true of having a restaurant. And she is an incredible cook. She knows how to just make the most delicious food, and she's known for that throughout her community. And well, she gets the opportunity. Of course, things don't necessarily work out the way they plan. But hey, you know what? A prince is coming to town. That could change things. Yeah. Except this prince isn't exactly the kind of guy who wants to settle down. There's a lot of conventions that are played against, like standard Disney conventions that do not don't happen normally in this. And in fact, this is probably something I don't know if anybody has ever mentioned before, although, well, leave it to me. This is probably the first Disney animated series where both the two leads spend most of the film naked. Yeah, because they're frogs. Yes, they both get turned into frogs. And that's one thing I didn't know about going into this. I knew, of course, there was going to be a frog prince kind of thing. Naveen was going to be turned into a frog at some point, but I didn't realize that she gets turned into a frog because I haven't seen this film before. Yes, I know it's been 13 years now. Yeah, I just never went to see this. I just didn't, and I had to break that to a lot of friends over the years. Like, what do you mean you haven't seen this film? You're at Disneyland all the time. You're just a Disney nerd. What do you mean you haven't seen this? Well, it's my shame and my regret, because this is a fantastic film, and it's got beautiful music. It doesn't necessarily have all the hooks that I grew up with when it comes to like The Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, The Lion King, things like that. But visually, this looks different than most other films. Not just the characters, or primarily the black characters. It's colorful. It's vibrant. It's got that Mardi Gras, almost vibrant neon colored feel to it, scattered throughout, usually during the music sequences, but also whenever there's magic involved and things get a little bit crazy. And of course, well, it's voodoo gets involved. As I was saying earlier, this scam artist who dabbles in voodoo he's always out to make a buck and pay his debts to the other side, and he finds many suckers along the way, not the least of which are our heroes, and they come colliding together. Now, what makes this interesting is the fact that our lead character has no interest in having a prince, but her best friend Charlotte definitely is. Now, you'd figure that they'd create some kind of rivalry between the two young women, and it turns out no. It's actually a really good true friendship throughout. It's yeah, Charlotte's off in her own little world. She just wants to marry a prince. She's already rich, but she wants this whole fairy tale thing that Disney has kind of sold over the years to little girls. But yeah, I'm not going to spoil anything at the end. A lot of people already know. I'm not going to ruin it for anybody else. But honestly, it's kind of it's a refreshing take on so many different Disney tropes, even though they do the dead parent thing at some point later on, just 5-10 minutes into the film. But not through any kind of weird tragic thing that they don't explain it really. He just died. Maybe he worked himself to death, because that's one of the things about this is that Tiana feels that she needs to work constantly, and she misses out on a lot, and she misses out on friendships and love interests and adventures and just certain simple joys that you can get just through that. And yeah, while it's important, yeah, to endeavor to do something for something that you care for, something that you love, something that you want to accomplish, yeah, absolutely not a thing to just shy away from. But there's got to be a balance, and that's kind of what we learn through her, and we also learn through Naveen, who is very much self-absorbed. He's wrapped up in himself, and he gets to learn a little bit of a lesson too. So yeah, the whole prince princess thing, yeah, I kind of ruined that early on, but you kind of figure that's the direction it's going to go. Other notable voices in this, you have to Bruno Campos plays Naveen, Jennifer Cody is Charlotte LaBeouf, and I'd already told you that John Goodman plays her dad in this. It's kind of great. Jim Cummings plays Ray. He's a mosquito, which there are plenty, and he has an interesting story. There's a number of animal characters that come into play in this, and instead of just simply being the sidekicks, the animal sidekicks, well, they're the animal sidekicks to now humans turned animals. So there's a jazz-loving crocodile, there is a lovesick mosquito, and all sorts of just crazy fun stuff. Jennifer Lewis plays Mama Odie. Terrence Howard plays James, and yeah, so it's got a bunch of interesting things. Oh, I recognize Richie Montgomery. Anyway, yeah, it's just strangely the star power in this isn't necessarily the thing that draws you to the story. It doesn't draw you to the film. There's plenty of famous people in this, but it's not the main draw. It's the beautiful animation, the directions they took in this. It sometimes feels Pixar-y without being three-dimensional. You know, the 3D, not three-dimensional spiritually or story-wise. I mean, just three-dimensional. It's not 3D. It's the 2D hand-drawn animation. Yes, even though a lot of it is still also done digitally. But yeah, it's unconventional story. But I didn't check to see if this was based on anything previous. But hey, is Tiana's dreams going to come true? Well, I'm guessing I could probably tell you that they do, because hey, Disneyland is they're redesigning the whole look of Splash Mountain to reflect her story. And you know what? I'm surprised they're not turning the restaurant right across the way at Disneyland into Tiana's Palace. Why? Maybe they are. Maybe that whole, I mean, it's New Orleans, that New Orleans Square area where the Haunted Mansion is and everything else. Huh. I think they should do that if they haven't already decided that. They may have already done that. I don't know. Okay. Uh, I don't think I can really tell you anything more about this. It's you either seen it or you haven't, or honestly, if you're a Disney Princess fan, it's and you're like me, you kind of should have watched this by now. But I mean, I'm not like a Disney Princess person, but I'm here for the Star Wars and the Marvel mostly, but I still love a good Disney tale. So for the rest of you, uh, still check it out. It's a good show. It's a good movie. Anyway, we're gonna pick tomorrow's thing, but we're not gonna randomly pick it because I've decided I was gonna do 12 Days of Christmas leading up to the 25th. I think I've almost already picked out just about everything. And I realized, you know what? I think I'm going to clear the board. I am going to clear the board of all Christmas stuff to date that I haven't watched yet on Disney Plus, which means it starts tomorrow. Gonna have to watch it. Gonna have to watch the episode tomorrow. Start the Christmas stuff tomorrow. It's December. Why not? So I picked it, but I've already forgotten it. It's the holiday sing along. Just a second. I had it up on the screen already. Did you enjoy checking out all the details back here? Yeah. I don't edit. I don't cut to show you that. I probably should because this is already picked out. It's not like I'm trying to prove anything. Anyway, the Disney holiday sing along is what we're going to watch next. Yes, there's a number of things that I wouldn't normally watch, even any time of the year, but I think a lot of this stuff is only on Disney Plus during this time, and we got to take them while we can. So we've got a lot of stuff Christmas wise coming up over the next 15, 16 days. I've lost track. There, I've found another one that might take us just beyond Christmas. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, then we'll start randomly picking stuff that takes us all the way through into the new year. After this run of Christmas stuff, and you get to see me wear a hat. So, what we're doing next, whether I like it or not, there's a lot of stuff that I picked that I really did not want to see, but I really figure, you know what, let's check it out. It's the season. We'll watch it during the season rather than having it randomly picked for me in the middle of July. So, this is going to be one of the less painful things to watch. I don't know. The Disney sing along, I'm not going to sing along to it. It's just not going to happen. Maybe. But the Disney holiday sing along is what we're watching next on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you then.